Welcome to the design section of this course. In this section, we're going to be going over how you can take all the phrases that you found in your research and now put them into compelling designs. We're going to talk about at least 3 different ways you can do this. We're going to talk about how you can do this using Canva, or how you can do this using Photoshop, and then finally we're going to explore how you can do this if you want to outsource your design to somebody else, like a freelancer or contractor or another design agency, something like that. So, I personally think that design is like the background music of your message card. And it should kind of be in the background. It shouldn't be too distracting. It should not draw attention away from your phrase. It should complement your phrase. And also, I feel like design should be as neutral as possible. You don't want the design to be super flashy, because it can actually turn people away from the design. So for example, in some of the products we looked at, there'd be an image of an adult figure and then like a daughter, and you start to go, well, maybe this doesn't really fit this mom-daughter arrangement. Like if the adult figure has long brown hair and maybe the actual mom in the story has blonde hair and has never worn it long or something like that. I mean, there's all kinds of little things like that you may not even think about that can put your buyer off. So you typically want to remain in the background. You want the design to just kind of complement the phrase, but not distract or pull attention away from it. So I'm really looking forward to getting into these different design methods, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey, what's up? So before you proceed to create your design, whether that's in Canva or Photoshop, or you hire a freelancer, you need to make sure that you have Shine-On's design template, right? And what the template does, and in fact, let me just show it to you real quick. The template will show you where the safe zones are to put your text and your images and things like that, and then where the risk areas are. And you can see here, basically the safe zone is the green zone, right? Anything inside the green zone, you're safe, you're good, go ahead and put text, images, things like that. Once you get out of this green zone, you need to be a little bit concerned that it might get clipped during printing. I'm going to show you where you can download this for each of Shine-On's products inside the platform. So the first thing you want to do is log into the platform. Then you need to go to Add New Product, and then find the product you want to create a design for. So I'm just going to choose the new cross that we just released. And then up here at the very top right, you've got some important information. It says your artwork should be uploaded as a PNG or a JPEG file. It should be 1000 by 1000 pixels with a max file size of 5 megs. This is important, especially if you're creating your own designs, because now you know the dimensions of the design. It looks like it needs to be a perfect square, at least 1000 by 1000 pixels with a max file size of 5 megs. Then right underneath it, it says you can use our message card guide below for your upload. Download. Click this download button. You're going to be able to download this template that I just showed you here, and then you can pass this on to your designer, or you can use it inside of Canva or Photoshop, and I'll show you how to do that in the next videos. Alright, hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey, what's up? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to create your design using Canva. So, let's jump right into it. First, you need to navigate to canva.com. Then, up at the very top right, you should see a Create Design button. You may have to log in to Canva or something like that. Just go ahead and create an account if you need to, no big deal. Then click Create Design in the top right, and we're going to choose Custom Dimensions. Now remember, we already know what our dimensions are because we went to the product creation page in Shineon.com platform and we saw the file dimensions listed at the top. So we're going to go ahead and do 1000 by 1000, it's perfect square. Click Create Design, and it's going to load up kind of a design and a toolbar and things like that for you inside of Canva. Alright, now we're all loaded up inside of Canva, and let's get started. So I already have the phrase that I want to use for this particular design. It's going to be a To My Daughter design, and the phrase is, if fate whispers to you, you can't withstand the storm, whisper back, I am the storm. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and love more than you know. I think this is going to be probably from a mom. So let's get into it. So I'm going to leave the background. Actually, I'm going to go with a darker background. Those are kind of trending right now. So let me just click in here. Guys, I'm not going to explain every single tool as I go through it, but I'll do my best to kind of narrate what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to click into the background. We're going to change this to a different color. I'm going to try like more just a dark gray. It's already here. It's easy to get to. That's fine. Now I want to add some text and start really kind of blocking out where things are going to go. So I'm going to add a heading. We're going to put to my, actually, we're going to do daughter in smaller text kind of above it. I'm going to put to my. Now I'm not a huge fan of these fonts, so we're going to play with the font here a little bit. Bring these down just to make sure we're inside the green zone here. And in fact, what I could do, just to make things easy, I'll actually bring in the template here, and I'll just throw it in the background so I can kind of see where things land. And what I'll do is I'll actually change the transparency of this to like really low. Whoops. Just to kind of make sure I'm staying in the good areas here of the design. Something like that. Now while I'm actually designing, I'm going to make that go away so I can see here. Okay, so now I got to my and daughter. Let's go ahead and get some text for our phrase, and then we'll start playing with the font. So here's body text, and I'll just copy this, paste it in here, paste it like there maybe. Oh. All right, so this is Open Sans 28. So I'll just change all of this to Open Sans Light 28, and we'll make it white. Okay, looking like it's supposed to anyway. Let's move this. If fate whispers to you, you can't withstand a whisper back. I am the storm you're braving. You believe strong, you seem smart, and you think and love more than you know. So get rid of that. Okay, I kind of want I think I want this to be centered. Just clicking the alignment button here to get it centered. Keep going past it. It's a little. We're just going to play with the formatting on this in a minute. Let's just finish blocking this out so I get it centered up here. Notice there's kind of a grid already built into Canva, so it's kind of snapping to the grid a little bit for me. It's fine. There are some things I want to change here about the layout of the block here. We'll get to that. Now let's put from mom. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Actually, let's get our fonts figured out, and then we'll start duplicating this. So first of all, this simple, straightforward font would probably work. It really would. It's legible. It's easy to read. It's the phrase that sells. It's not the, design elements and things like that. I'm just going to see if we can fancy this up just a little bit here, particularly with daughter. I kind of like it if that was a special font. So let's just scroll through here and see if we can find something a little bit fancier. You'll see I'm going to try a few different things. I'm just going to click around on some of the fonts here, try to find one that works. That one is not a good font. It's too difficult to read. Fonts that are in all caps or capitalizing everything is actually not a bad practice. No. And I'm just kind of feeling this out, guys. There's nothing in particular. Whatever I choose here, I want it to be easily read. That's the biggest thing here. It needs to be legible. I'm just trying to see if I can find something that'll make it kind of pop a little bit. I'll be quite honest, I'm kind of liking the standard font that came in Canva. I actually think that would work, especially when I'm testing, just trying to test the new phrase and all that kind of stuff. So I'm still way up in the A's. There are a lot of fonts inside of Canva. Let's try. So I kind of like that one too. That one's way too playful for something like this. That one's just too difficult to read, I think. This one wouldn't probably work. It's just not really clicking for me. I kind of like this one. It might be a little tough to read, gonna keep going. I feel myself as I'm going through here. I feel myself leaning towards the actual standard font that came up here in Canva. If I'm quite honest, it's easy to read. It looked pretty good, bold. I actually think for a test, I'm probably gonna stick with that. So let me undo this quite a bit. Getting there. Bam. Is it that one? Yep, it was that one. So I think for my test, anyway, I'm going to do this. And if my test hits, then maybe I'll go to something else. I do kind of want this to be a little bit bigger. I really want it to kind of stand out. Keep in mind, people are going to be looking at this on their cell phones and stuff like that. So you need to make sure it's easily read. Okay. Kind of liking how that's going. I told you I wanted to play with this here a little bit. Let me just see. If fate whispers to you, you can't whisper back. You are the storm. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem. I think I'm probably gonna go with this. Then these two lines are a little bit consistent. I'm gonna put a comma here just to break that up. Here I'm gonna make that bold, right? The braver, stronger. Braver, stronger, smarter. And I would even, man, I kind of want to do something like that, but I don't think it's gonna work for this design, the layout here. And then I'm also gonna put loved more than you know. Maybe I'll do the whole thing in bold like that. Pretty good, could be better, but I'm happy with it. Now I'm gonna put love. I'm just gonna duplicate this right here, bring that down. I'm gonna put love your mom, or here I'll just put love mom. I like this. For not doing anything to the fonts or anything, I actually think this turned out pretty good. Let's check our bleed here real quick. I'm pretty much in the safe zone. This one is not. Let me just make this a hair smaller. Like I'll try 25 maybe. See if that puts me in the safe zone. Yeah, I'm pretty much there. This needs to be centered again. There we go. Okay. There's center. There we go. Kind of sitting back here just to get the whole thing in my field of vision, just to make sure everything's looking good. I like it. I'm gonna add a little bit more white space. I'm gonna drag this down just a hair. I need to check my bleed area here. Yeah, I'm still good. The last thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to play just a hair with the background. Mainly because this is a mom to daughter gift, so I feel like the gray is a little bit cold and I'd like a warmer color. But again, it can't be too crazy. Like the reds, all these are out. These are too crazy, but I could go with like a deep, maybe navy blue or even like a purple. Something like that, maybe. Kind of like that. Okay. See how simple this is? Super freaking simple. I do have some design elements we can bring into this. I'm going to try to get them to fit, but if I don't get them to fit, I would actually be comfortable testing with this. Seriously would, because it's the phrase that sells. Plus, I'm pretty sure once I get a jewelry piece on here, this is going to feel pretty dramatic with this dark background and stuff. I think it's probably going to look pretty good. But let's go ahead and look at the design that I brought in here. I kind of wanted to try something with this lion. I know that's a little bit crazy, but this whole like if fate whispers to you, you can't withstand the storm, whisper back, I am the storm. It's kind of got this like raw feminine kind of power thing going on there. And I don't know, I'd kind of like to bring that up. Now, I probably chose the wrong lion. Now I'm thinking about this because this is a male lion. However, I also have some crowns, Maybe I can get one of these to work. So let me just copy this. By the way, I pulled these right off of freepik.com, freepik.com. Let me paste them in here. Now this is going to need some work here, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it to do exactly what I want. I think if I mess around with this, I'm going to distort the image quite a bit. Yeah. Plus, this whole thing needs to be inverted, like the transparent areas. I don't really like. Let me just see if I can find. Let me just see if I can find a crown in here. Let's do like crown. Can't say I really like most of these. Let's do princess. Princess is more the vibe I kind of want to go for. Princess, crown, PNG maybe. Yeah, none of these are really hitting it for me. Well, that's okay. Let's see if we can find any like floral decor kind of thing. Floral. Realizing maybe I should be searching here in elements instead of in photos. Let's see. Try and crown again real quick. Playing around here. I like how that's kind of this dark. Yeah, this is just not. It's a little busy. By the way, guys, this is a pure raw kind of thing. This is how I do designs when I do them. I mean, I'm kind of playing around with things, seeing what fits, what doesn't. I don't always go into it the perfect idea. I kind of paint as I go, so to speak. Let's try this one. It's kind of pretty. It looks good against that purple, that's for sure. Still though, I don't think this is going to work. I just think it's probably a little too busy. Let me see if I can like turn the transparency down on it, kind of get that to hide a little bit more. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to work. It's distracting now from the To My Daughter piece. Maybe I could put it here where the jewelry is going to land, but then I think it's probably going to fight with the jewelry for attention. So I don't think it's going to work. Let's shift gears. Let's do some floral decals here. See if any of these will work for something like this. You know, like little cutesy things like that. That actually might work. Get you centered up here. There we go. Let's make sure I'm still in my bleed zone. So it needs to come up just a hair. Something like that. A little busy. Let me see what happens when I stretch this out. It does get bigger. I kind of like that. I think this works actually. I like this quite a bit. Check my zone again. I think I'm going to raise this up a little bit more. Get this up here. Make that a little bigger. Keep in mind, you kind of want to go as large as you can on all your fonts and stuff because you need this to be easily read. It's got to be legible. That's rule number one when it comes to this kind of stuff. Check my bleed zones again one more time. I think I'm good on all my zones. I wonder if I should go maybe just a hair darker on this background. So I'm going to copy this hex code that I'm currently at in case I want to come back to it. Let's just go a little darker here. Like, I'm kind of liking something like this. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this. So we are going to roll on this one. So look, I hope you found this video helpful. Canva can be an extremely powerful tool. It's free. You see, it's all drag and drop. It doesn't require a ton of skill. You can pay for the pro version of this, which is like 15 bucks a month or something like that. Then you have access to all these additional elements and things that you can add in to your design. It's super, super powerful. I love Canva. I'm also a big fan of Photoshop. I like them all. But this is a great, great starting point. If you want to do your own designs, it's cheap, it's drag and drop, it's super freaking easy. Highly recommend you check this out. Okay, hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey everybody, what's up? In this video, we're going to be talking about how to use Photoshop to create your designs. So just like we did in Canva, I'm going to create the same design with the same quote, except this time I'm going to use Photoshop. We're going to keep it really simple. We're not going to get into a lot of the advanced stuff. I want to show you that even though Photoshop looks complicated, you can still create designs very quickly, very fast, and very simply using it. All right, so let's jump right into it. First thing you're going to want to do is obviously open up Photoshop. The second thing you want to do is head over to shineon.com and pull down the artwork, as I showed you a few videos ago. Get that artwork inside of Photoshop. We're going to use this in the background just to make sure that our placements of text and all that kind of stuff are in a good position. So a few things about Photoshop. Over here on the left, you have a toolbar. Over here on the right, you've got like a color swatch, color picker. Yours may look just a little bit different than mine. And then you also have layers. This is kind of where I live when I'm doing my own designs. I don't get much more complicated than this. So let's get into it. So we've got our guide now. It's right here. Just for the time being, I'm going to hide this layer by clicking the little eyeball icon here. Just to have kind of a blank canvas to work on. One thing I did want was I want to use a very similar color that I used in the Canva design. So we're going to make this kind of a dark, it was like a dark purple. Something like that, if I remember right. So we're going to go ahead and fill it. We're going to go to edit, fill. Now I've got my color picked. And boom, we have our background. Easy peasy. All right, now I'm going to add a new layer and we're going to start blocking in our text. So you can see I'm already on the text tool over here on the left. Pop that in here to my, that needs to be white. So what I did there was I'm in the text field, Control A, selected the whole thing. Going up here, the color picker, I'm just going to make it white so I can see what I'm doing. Now the font in the Canva design was a font that was kind of like Arial. It was like I believe that's called a sans serif font. Maybe even a little something like that. No, I'm not a huge fan of Impact. I have a bunch of fonts I've just downloaded from the internet over my time. I might just use Impact for now and then maybe come back to it and play with it. This one's not bad. The fonts, I can tell the letters are a little spaced out. Like there's a big gap here between the letters. So you can adjust little things like that with the fonts by coming up here at the top and clicking this folder icon. It brings you this little pop-up box. And then right here where it says VA, I believe that's vertical. Let's see, what is that? If I start to shrink that, does it do anything? By the way, this is how I learned most of Photoshop. I just kind of played around with it. Yeah, so this is the spacing between letters. 0 is default. So I'm just bringing that back to 0 for now. Again, I can change this later. There are other things you can do in this thing. You can add like a computer-generated bold and computer-generated italics and things like that. So like if the font doesn't come with its own bold typeset, you can try to have the computer generate what that might look like. Lots of stuff you can do here, so I encourage you to play around with those. All right, let's keep going here. So I have to my, now I want it to say daughter underneath. Daughter. And last time I had to my, it was smaller. So I'm just gonna walk this back a little bit until I'm happy with it. Just put it there for now. Same, I'm just aligning it. I'm just centering it up, just the same way I did with Canva. I just kind of drag it around until it snaps to the grid. Now I'm gonna make this bigger. It's a gift to a daughter. You want it to really kind of stand out. Something like that. Okay, now let's add some more text. So I'm just gonna grab to my, duplicate it again. So all I did to duplicate was I just grabbed the layer in the right and dragged it down to the little plus sign in the bottom right. It might be kind of tough to see, but once you're in Photoshop, that'll make more sense. And that duplicates the layer. Now I'm just going to drag the layer down, and now I need to start working in my quote. All right, so we'll paste the quote in here. Man, that's big. So let's just open this up a little bit. Let's shrink this way down. Okay, Notice now we have issues with vertical spacing. So again, I'm going to go look over here in my box and see what's going on. So this here, these two A's that are stacked on top of each other, that has to do with your vertical spacing. I can see it's not set to auto. Auto is typically where you want it to be. Auto is like the default. So if I set it to auto, it shrinks it all back up. That's good. So now I'm going to make that bigger again. I'm already realizing I'm not a huge fan of impact for the actual code itself. It's too blocky. I think it's okay up here at the top, but not here. I'm just, for the time being, I'm just going to change this to like Arial. Like maybe an Arial bold. Arial black, maybe. Something like that for now. I may come back and change this. I'm also going to drag this out. I'll probably change that too once I start looking at the bleed lines and all that kind of stuff. I know I want that first line kind of all on the same line. If fate whispers to you, you can't withstand the storm, I kind of want that all to fit on one line. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have to work with this. This is not, I'm not super happy with the placement and all that right now. But that's okay. Let's just keep moving. So now I'm going to grab I'm going to duplicate it one more time. And we got to put the salutation in here. We're going to put love mom. And then I had like a little sprig design in the Canva version. So we're going to get the sprig design back. I went to freepick.com and I just looked up floral sprig decal or something like that. And I was able to find this here. And I think this is going to work. I'm just going to grab something from here. I kind of like these here. They're simple and kind of cutesy. These ones right here. So pretty simple to grab them. I'm just going to highlight them, copy that. I may run into a little bit of distortion here as I pull things over, but is what it is. Creating a new layer, pasting it in. Let me shrink that down a little bit, like so. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I got to get rid of all this white. So over here in the left, I've got these selection tools, and I'm going to choose the magic wand tool. And this is what it's going to do is if I click on a color, it'll select that color for me. So like you can see, if I click there, it selects all the white. Now I'm just going to delete that. Now you'll notice I've got the white inside the sprig itself. I've got to kind of get in there and clean up. So what I do is I hit Control plus. I hit on my keyboard, I held Control and hit plus several times, and it zoomed me in. And now I'm just going to go through here. I'm going to click into these spaces and kind of delete some things. I think though this magic wand tool has a tolerance, and you can see that it didn't select all the white there. So I think I need to mess with this tolerance a little bit. I'm going to increase that to like 10 and see what happens. Need to deselect. Let's try again. No, not yet. Let's keep bumping it up. I'm just going to bump it to 50. It's probably going to overdo it. Is it? 50 is good. So 50 is where it's at. Now I'm going to select all of these. And you know what? It's kind of messy. See some of these little white pixels here around the thing? That tells me that I think that tolerance screwed us up on the first selection too. So let me Control Z all the way back. Zoom back out here. Control Z until I get my white background back. Now I'm still at tolerance level of 50. I'm just gonna highlight it all and delete it one more time. See if that cleaned up all those pixels. And it did. See how much cleaner that is now? So now I'm just gonna go through here and get rid of all the white. So I'm gonna click into one and I'm gonna hold shift and I'm gonna click down the next one and the next one, the next one. And it will just select them all for me. I can just hit delete all at once, and boom, got a little bit right here. Yeah, don't like that. Let me zoom in here quite a bit. Let me just pop this down to 1 real quick. Get rid of 1 or 2 of these little pixels. Does that look alright? Nah, it looks fine. When I'm zoomed out, you're not going to be able to tell anyway. So put this back to 50. Now let's get rid of all these. Okay, delete. Got a little bit right there. Drop that back to 1. And bam. Alright, good. Zoom back out. And there we go. Not too bad. Now I want to change the color of this to white. So now I've got it just down to like the actual graphic or whatever. I'm going to hit Control and I'm going to select it. And the first thing I'm going to do to try to get it to turn white is I'm going to hit Control I. This will just invert all the colors. And it made it white. It's kind of a gray though, actually. I don't really like that. So I'm going to Control Z, back out of that. I'm going to, in case I screw anything up, I'm going to duplicate this layer. Just have one as a backup. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select those again. I'm just going to see if I can change it to white. I think it's going to be a little bit messy. So all I did was I select white in my color picker. Now I'm going to go to Edit Fill. That actually doesn't look half bad. I'm actually okay with that. That looks good to me. Okay, so now I'm going to hide the black sprigs here. I don't need to see those anymore. The only other thing I don't really like is no, that's okay. I like it. It's fine. Okay, so let's get our fonts a little bit better. So this here definitely needs some work. I'm going to just set it on Arial. Let's see. Oh, it is on Arial. No, it's on Arial Black. Set on Arial Regular real quick and see. Keep in mind it's a phrase. The bigger this is, the better, usually. So let me make my text field a little larger so I can like see what's going on here. Pull that down. Let's see what I mean, like, I'm okay with that. It's still a little messed up. These sprigs are too big. So I got to make this smaller. So first thing I'm going to do to try to make it smaller is I'm just going to squish it and see what that does to the image. Not too bad. Still having problems with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split it so I can pull these apart a little bit more and try to bring my font down a little bit. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate the layer with the white sprig. I'm going to hide one of them now. Go back to this one. I'm going to just delete everything on one side of it, like so. Bam. Now I've got the one. Now I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to take the other layer, duplicate that again. I need to make sure I keep it back up here. And on this layer, I'm just going to delete the other side of it. Like so. Now I should have, there we go. So I'll grab one and I'm just going to drag it to the right. Let me pull up my, where's my layer with the bleed lines? Pull that way down here just for the time being. Okay, it needs to be here inside. Probably gonna have to squish it again. Whatever. I'll pull them to the right as far as I can until they're like kind of touching the green, maybe. Little green zone. And let's hide this, see what it looks like now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to shrink it. It's just, it's taking up too much space. Let's look at my bleed zones here again real quick. Is there anything else I can do? So this needs to come down just a little. Love Mom needs to come up. Yeah, we're gonna be squished. So I'm definitely gonna have to shrink that down. All right, let's get it over with. So I don't think I want them separated since I'm gonna have to shrink them down anyway. So I'll bring that back. Now I'm just going to click in that layer and hold shift, and I'm just gonna drag that top box down, just shrink it down, bring it back up like so. Let's make sure it's kind of spaced in there, okay? Man, I'm still, I mean, it's not bad looking, I guess. Bring it up a little more. Just need some white space there between it and Love Mom. Now I'll grab that, pull that down, Try to get somewhat equal white space between the sprig, like so that it's let's see, distributed vertically, like equally between the phrase and Love Mom. Let's just look at that. It's looking pretty good. Let's pull the bleed lines back up. Let's just make sure. So we're still, our phrase here is still too big. So I'm just going to grab it. I'm going to make it like 8.5 font size. Still too big. Let's try 8.25. Oh, just on the precipice there. 8.15. That's good. I'll hide the thing again. Make sure I'm still vertically aligned a little bit because it kind of messed that up a little when I shrink it. I'm going to bring the sprigs up just a hair. More white space the better. It's going to be easier on the eyes. Alright, To My Daughter. This To My, I kind of like Daughter in the impact font. To My, not so much. I think what I'm going to do though is I'll just make To My this Arial black. That really makes it kind of, it's like a big font. But it's not as like big as no, I don't like that. Never mind. We're sticking with impact here. Maybe what I do is I pull up the bleed lines. It just looks like those are right on top of each other, and I just want to make sure it's easy to read. The number one rule when you ever do this is legibility. It's got to be easy to read. You can't. It really shouldn't look like your text is overlapping and stuff like that. It'll confuse the buyer. All right. Looking good. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to bold some of this. I'll bold braver. Bold stronger. Bold smarter. Actually, what happens if I make it this black? Ooh, I like that. We'll do that instead. We're going to make it this. Rather than bold, we're going to choose black. Then here I'm going to put loved. More than you know. Alright. Fate whispers to you, you can't withstand the storm. Whisper back, I am the storm. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and loved more than you know. Love, Mom. Boom! Like this one. Okay, I'm going to save that and call it a day. So we're going to export this as a PNG. So I'm just going to go, first of all, I'm going to save the PSD. Actually, I'm probably not going to do this on screen because you'll see all my folders and that'll give away some things. However, you can save the PSD file first, then you want to go and export this as a PNG. Look it up on YouTube if you don't know how to do that. It's super freaking easy. All right, hope you found this quick Photoshop tutorial helpful. We'll see you in the next video. Hey everybody, what's up? In this video, I'm going to show you how to take the designs you've just created and then upload them to your first product on the platform. Let's get right into it. First thing you need to do, navigate to shineon.com, log in to your platform dashboard. Second thing you want to do, click the Add New button in the top right hand corner and go to Product. Now this is going to show you our current design catalog, okay? By the time you do this or whenever you watch this, there may be other products. We have a bunch to choose from. The first thing you need to consider though is your design niche fit or product niche fit. So in our example, we're using a To My Daughter necklace. This means I probably want to stay away from anything that's remembrance, romantic, or anything like that. So we'll just go down this list real quick. The cross could probably work. Love knot could probably work. There's nothing overtly romantic about this. It could probably work for a daughter gift, but you're starting to you're kind of on the line there with that one. Sweetest Hearts could work. Stethoscope, probably not. And that's more nurse niche type thing. Alluring Beauty could probably work. Again, there's nothing particularly romantic about it. It's kind of on the line, but it's not overtly romantic. The Remembrance necklaces, those are out. The Compass necklace, that could work really well, especially with our quote, it kind of fits. You have the 2D sided stick, that might work. You have the Birthstone necklace. I really like this for daughter gifts. They work great. The heart, the Forever Love, probably not going to work. That one's definitely got more of a romantic angle to it. Scripted Love, that's another one. pretty romantic, probably not going to work for a daughter gift. Interlocking hearts. This one could definitely work for a daughter gift. The interlocking nature of the hearts, the way it symbolizes eternal love and all that kind of stuff, that's definitely a parental kind of love. I think something like that could work. Infinity hearts, this is another great one that could work on a necklace like this. One thing I like about infinity hearts, you have a little lower price point, so you can lower your purchase price on it. And the anchor could also work. So for message card jewelry, those are your options. So for this one in particular, I know that interlocking hearts sells pretty well. Kind of toying with the idea of trying alluring beauty. Probably not on this. So interlocking hearts, infinity hearts would be another one. Then I'm considering the quote too. It's like, whisper back, I am the storm. So you kind of got this fierce feminine strength. And then it's also, you're stronger than you believe, smarter than you seem, and love more than you know. I kind of like that with interlocking hearts. I feel like it's just something's feeling good to me about that. So I think I'm going to go with interlocking hearts. So we're going to go create product on interlocking hearts. We're going to upload our artwork. Okay, now I've got the design uploaded. I'm going to go to create or continue to product assets. Now here's a place where you're sometimes going to have to fiddle with things, because the jewelry piece and the mock-ups, it may cover up some of your text, and you really don't want that. So I'm looking here, and I can clearly see I could probably drag down the "to my daughter" maybe a little bit. Actually, it's almost perfect. But the font area definitely needs to shrink a little bit because the interlocking hearts are going right over the top of it. So I'm going to jump over to Canva, and I'm just going to see if I can just get away with just pulling it down like that. I don't want it to get too busy there with this decal, so I'm going to kind of drag it down to make sure I maintain that kind of equal vertical spacing. And let's just try this on for size. So I'm just going to download it again as a PNG. All right, got it downloaded. Now I'm going to go back to upload artwork, and I'm just going to upload it again. All right, so I got the new artwork uploaded here. Let's go back to continue to product assets. Doesn't look like it moved at all. So sometimes when you upload a file with the same file name, the system doesn't always recognize it. It's like it gets cached. So sometimes what you have to do is rename the file to kind of help it upload. So we're going to try that real quick. So looks like we still got some overlap here, so I didn't drag it down quite enough. I'm going to have to actually shrink the font, which I really didn't want to do. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to highlight it, and I'm just going to knock it down to like 24.5. And then I'm going to kind of arrow it down a little bit more. This honestly is probably not going to be enough. I'm going to have to drop it to 24, I think. Like that. And then I'm going to arrow it down. Now I'm going to go rename the file and upload it again. So I'm going to go back to upload artwork. All right, new artwork is uploaded. Come on, big money, no whammies. And I'm wanting to show this to you again, mostly uncut, because I want you to see like you do have some back and forth like this. You kind of got to go through to get it all looking right. So I am definitely under the necklace now, but I've still got that shadow that's kind of obscuring it. And this has got to remember, legibility is the #1 rule here. So I think I'm gonna have to make it a little bit smaller. I hate to do that, but I think I'm gonna have to get it to fall right on the mock-up. All right, so off I go. We've got the new one uploaded again. Let's jump back over to our mock-up. Come on, baby. This is pretty good. I'm keeping it. Okay, so now for the name. I always do something like this. I put "to my daughter." Braver, stronger, smarter. When you're naming the necklace, I like to take the punchline of the phrase and put that in the name. And then I'm just going to put necklace at the end. I don't put interlocking hearts. I don't put any of that other stuff. You can. I don't. I'm going to leave the standard Shine On product copy for now for Facebook pixel. I'll add my own pixel, obviously. And then for niche, we're going to choose gift for daughter. And then here, this is optional, but you can see what I got here. I don't think there's this is for like birthday. Doesn't look like we have a niche available for this one. That's okay. So we got gift for daughter. I'm going to come back in and add my Facebook pixel later. And then for here, I'm just going to put something like braver. I put initials. I want to keep the URL small because it's cleaner on Facebook. So I usually use the acronym. So I'll just put Braver, Stronger, Smarter necklace, BSSN, something like that. Publish. We're off to the races. It's going to take a second to queue, and then you'll see your product from your product list. After maybe a minute or two, you should see your product here in the list, and we can get to editing your listing. So we're going to cover that in the next video. Hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey everybody, what's up? In this video, we're going to go over some of the options you have on the product admin page inside the platform. So to get here, you're going to need to log into the platform, obviously. Click dashboard up in the top left. This should show you all of your products and they'll be sorted based on most recently uploaded. Click the product you just created from the list and it'll take you to a page that looks like this. This is the product admin. So I'm going to go over real quick the layout here and what you're looking at. So up here is the option for store. This is something we're going to bring in the future. We're actually going to be able to have your own store on the platform. So for now, you don't need to do anything with that. Then you've got your product title. This is what we made when we uploaded the product. You have your description. We'll come back to this in a minute. Over here on the right, you've got the ability to display a coupon. This is a feature that a lot of sellers ask for to help increase conversions on products. So you can actually display the coupon on the product page itself so that people can use that coupon at checkout and save a little bit of money. You have your audience stuff where you can upload your Facebook or Google Pixel. Again, I'll do that. I can't do it in the course for obvious reasons. My Pixel ID will get played with. Then we have remarketing. Here's where you're going to need to choose who the gift is for. This helps us with retargeting. So you're going to want to put remarketing there, and then the niche is optional. This is usually this is for like events and things like that, birthday, anniversary, stuff like that. Okay, scrolling down a little bit further, you can see your artwork over on the right side. Now I'm going to jump back over to the left. Underneath the description here, you have your URL handle. This is where you can put your URL handle. Again, I like to keep mine tiny and small so that it's looks clean when I put it inside of my ads and things like that. And then you also have your images. So there's a lot of stock images here. I'm going to show you which ones I like to use the most. I like to keep fewer images as opposed to more, and we'll go into that in a second. Then you also have variants, and you can see you've got a compare at price and then a price. So one of the interesting things here, I want to show you what this looks like. So let's just pop open the product. So here you have a view in store button. If you click that, it'll pop you into your product. And this is what your actual product page is going to look like on the store. So you can see it's looking pretty good. Ignore that for now. It's something I was messing with a minute ago. I'll show you that in a sec. So here is where your compare at price is. And you can see that it's 49 bucks. And then you have $69.97 crossed out. And then right underneath it, you have this save $20, right? So let me jump back over now to your product admin. You can see that right here. So you've got your compare at price at $69.97 and then your actual price at $49.97. So that's what gets plugged in right here. Okay. Another thing that's good to know is whatever image you choose for this here, that is the primary image that you're going to have right here. It's going to be the default one that pops up. So you need to be thinking about that. I like to maintain congruency between my ads and the product page. So I like to make sure that the primary image I run in my ads is the one on the product page. Now, obviously, like when you're testing different images and things like that, it's a little tough to maintain that congruency. However, once you find a winning image, you definitely want to make sure they're synced up so that when people go from the ad to the product page, they're seeing the same image and they know they went to the right place. Okay, so what I typically like to do is I like to make my products at a discount. I usually do 20 bucks to start my testing. However, I've seen people go as high as 40 and 50 and 60 bucks. I've seen people make their products 50% off. You need to think a little bit about the offer and how you're going to run your ads. And that may not be clear to you right now, but as we get more through the course and we get into the advertising section, this will become more clear to you. You'll need to be thinking about the offer you're going to run in your campaigns and the things you're going to do to compel people to click. I usually like to run my campaigns at $20 off. I've seen people do $40 off and even 50% off. So you need to think through all that stuff. But if you want to edit any of this, just down here under variants, you can click this little pencil icon. And right here, you can edit your compare at price and your actual price. So I could bump this up to $99.97 and call this 50% off if I wanted to. Keep in mind, consumers aren't stupid. This still needs to be somewhat realistic here for them. So you don't want to do anything too outlandish. Let me think about the offer I want to run here. You know, for this one, maybe I'll make it $89.97. I'll make it $40 off for fun. I'm going to click save. It's going to update that for me. And just real quick to show you, I'm going to pop back over to the product page here. I'm going to refresh this. And we should see this update to, I think it's probably cached. Let me make sure everything's saved. And I'll go back here. Let me pop it open from here. There we go. Now it's saying $89.97 right there. So it's $40 off now. All right, so let's pop back over here. Let's click this little thing here and let's change the default image. I like this one as the default image. I like this one because it's up close, shows the phrase, it's kind of dramatic. This is the one I like to run in my ads to begin with too. So I'm just gonna click here, make default image. You'll see it's got this green kind of square around it now. It's now my default image. I'm gonna click save. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is mess with the actual images on the page. Again, I like to go use fewer images as opposed to more. So let's look at everything we have to choose from real quick. I'm going to click load more. Okay, here are all our images. I definitely want the one I've already got. Let's see, do I want one more? Maybe I'm going to do this image here, and then maybe that image of the actual product outside of a message card. Now I'm going to delete this one, I think. No, what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to go with 4 images. Delete this one. Click rearrange. And now what I want to do is I want to bring my message card images to the top and then the lifestyle images at the bottom. That's it. This is all I'm going to go with. I don't like having... Look, you need enough images that people understand what the product is, but I don't like having so many images they get lost in it. That just gives them more opportunity to find some reason not to buy. That's how I look at it anyway. Okay, now let's talk about the description. This is a what you see is what you get editor, but it's a little bit tricky to kind of manipulate and get things to work all the time. You will be going back and forth between this page and your product page till you get everything right. I do know one little trick that helps with this sometimes. It's not perfect, but it kind of works. If you open up a Google Doc and you try to edit your description here and then copy paste it over, sometimes that helps it stick. So I'm just going to grab this, copy it, paste it. Now I'm going to put buy today and save $40. Because remember, we added the $40 discount into the thing. Now I'm going to take that, bold it, make it red. So it's like big. Now I'm going to increase the font size to like 18 or something. And then what I'm going to do, I get a lot of questions about this, so I just want to make sure it's clear. I'm going to put discount applied automatically, right? Something like that. Okay, let's copy this, paste it back into description here, and bam, you can see that the font colors and all that carried over. Let's save it though, and let's make sure it looks good on the actual product page. So let me click view in store. I like it. Looks good. Looks like it's got a little bit of a white background. Can't really tell if that's me, my eyes playing with me or what. Just make sure my background is set to none. Save. I think that cleaned it up. If it's still there, I can barely see it. I can't even see it really anymore. All right, so that is looking good. I got my 4 images here. Just want to make sure my correct default image is popping up. That is not the default image. So let's go back here. Let's just pick it one more time. Go back to make default. Sometimes this is not really about the platform, and it has more to do with like your browser caching the image and all that kind of crap. So you do have to kind of play with this a little bit. All right, so I think we're good here. Let's view and store one more time. There we go. Boom. Got my default image up. It's nice. It's dramatic. It's right in your face. It's what they're going to see in the ads. Looks really clean. I like it. I'm actually going to get rid of this image. This one really shows the detail. It looks high quality. This one looks good too. I'm just thinking, like, if someone's buying this for a younger girl and then they see this necklace on what appears to be a more mature female, I just don't want it to send any of the wrong vibe. So I'm actually going to get rid of that image as well. Okay, save. All right, we are off to the races. I hope you found this video helpful. We'll see you in the next one. Hey everybody, what's up? In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can find a great, skilled graphic designer for your message cards straight from the Shine On Graphic Design group. Let's get into it. So first thing you want to do, log into Facebook. Up in the top left, search for Shine On Graphic Design. Shine On Graphic Design. There's also going to be a link underneath this video that comes to this group. You're going to see there's 35,000 members in this group. The group is huge. And as you scroll through here, you're going to see a ton of really nice looking designs. So I'm just going to scroll down here and look at these. I mean, these are all designs that designers have put together for people to buy, and they're beautiful. I love this group, honestly. Tons of great inspiration, tons of amazing designers. As soon as we release new products, they are on top of it right away, adding designs. This group is constantly got new stuff coming into it. Highly recommend you source designs from this group. These people are part of our community. They know our products really well. They know the message card dimensions. This is a great place to go to source a graphic designer. Before you look at any of the other options, I highly suggest you come here. So here's how I would do this. So there are two ways you can find a graphic designer in this group. First, you could post a job, okay? You could literally come in here and you can say, hey, I'm looking for a graphic designer. I want this, this, and this. You can maybe even talk about terms and say, like, if you're interested, email me your portfolio or something like that. Or private message me a link to your portfolio, something like that. That's one way you can do this. You can just post a job. Be very clear about the type of job that you want. Talk about the products you're going to go after. Talk about the niche you're going to go after. Talk about how much you plan to pay, like 10 or 15 bucks a design, whatever that rate may be. You may have to pay a little bit higher for some people in this group because they specialize in our jewelry, which is good because it's going to save you a lot of hassle and back and forth trying to get something that looks right. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is you can literally scroll through here and try to find somebody that's got a design aesthetic that appeals to you. You can see that, like, some people are really good with these dark colored backgrounds and they've kind of got this gold, I almost want to say like Hindi, Mahindi kind of feel to it with these like intricate patterns. Here's one that's faith. It says faith. It's kind of in this Christian niche going on. Anyway, you'd have to scroll through here and really find one that stands out to you. But you can also just scroll through here and find somebody that's got your aesthetic. Another thing you can do is you can just scroll through here, and if you find a design that you just like, you can buy it right from the designer. So here are a few things that I would definitely do when you're talking with a designer. First of all, make sure that you get exclusive rights to this design. They're not going to sell it to anybody else. Make sure the rights are exclusive on not just the phrase and the design, but also like the template, right? You don't want them to use your floral pattern that's on your design for a bunch of other phrases. By the way, I don't think anybody like is being nefarious or is going to try to rip you off or anything like that. I'm just protect yourself. You know, this is just goes for any type of business relationship that you're setting up. So make sure you get exclusive rights to the design. Also ask them if they're working with anybody else in the group. You don't need to name names, but just kind of find out if they're doing designs in the same niche and things like that. And you want to make sure that there's going to be no overlap, right? That your designs are exclusively your own. They're not going to share those with anybody else. The other thing is you want to make sure not just the design, but the phrase. Maybe if you're buying it for the phrase, make sure the phrase isn't going to be on any other jewelry. You're also going to want to work out terms, not only on this one design you're going to buy, but if you want to use them in the future, what are you going to charge there and things like that. Just use common sense here, guys. Protect yourself, but also remember these guys are part of our group. They're part of our community. We want to make sure we're taking care of them too. So, you know, don't rake them over the coals when it comes to the deal that you set here. I promise you, having a good designer in your pocket It's an amazing relationship to have because it will really, really help you put out new things rapidly. Another thing I would ask is what their turnaround time is. Like if you submit a new design idea or you have a design request, how long does it take for them to get back to you? I'd ask them how many designs a week they think they can manage, all that kind of stuff, and square that up with your vision for your business and how you're going to run this. So this is the first place I would go to start to source a graphic designer. Hope you found this video helpful. I'll see you in the next one. What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to show you how to outsource your design work to a freelancer using Upwork. It's really, really simple to do. The first thing you want to do is go to upwork.com and you're going to want to sign up for a new account or log into an existing account if you already have one. After you're logged in, you're going to see a big green post job button in the top right corner. You're going to want to click that button. That's going to take you to a page that looks like this. You're going to be able to start creating your first job to try to find freelancers to do design work for you. So here's typically how I do it. I have create a new job post. I typically click dedicated long-term work. I find that I get higher quality freelancers when I do this, even if I'm not going to use them long-term or anything like that. I still kind of play with this option. Then I click continue. For enter the name of your post, I put need ninja graphic designer for print on POD jewelry. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll put for POD designs, right? POD is a keyword I do definitely use in my job title because I want to attract freelancers that already know what it is and have maybe worked for some other people in the past. Another thing you do is print on demand like greeting cards, because like a message card is kind of like a greeting card. So for this one, I'm just going to put POD designs. For job category, I'm just going to leave it as graphic design. You can add more in there if you want. And then for description, I put something like need experienced graphic designer for print on demand POD designs. Designs will be for message card jewelry, and you can see some examples here. Typically what I'll put here is something like this. I'll go to Etsy and I'll just type like message card jewelry, and I'll just take this link and I'll pop it in there. And the reason is I want people to understand the aesthetic and things like that I'm going for. If interested, please respond to this post and submit your portfolio for my review. Thank you. Sometimes what people will do is they'll do something like this. They'll put like to apply, 1, respond to this post with the word walrus. And they'll put something weird like that, right? Just to see if people will even read the post. And then when they get all their applications, if they don't put the keyword walrus in the application, they don't even read it. I've done this before. It is one way to kind of filter down who's paying attention, who isn't. You can do all kinds of weird psychological tricks like this if you want. I keep things pretty simple myself. So I'm just going to put, to apply, please respond to this post and submit. And I'm going to put your print on demand portfolio for review. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to click next. This is going to be an ongoing project. Again, you're going to get higher quality designers if you do that. The other thing is you should kind of be looking to develop a long-term relationship with somebody if you really want to do this for a long time. For skill level, I'm going to choose intermediate. They don't have to be expert level. Expert level are going to have to pay a little bit more, but you definitely don't want people that are like completely new. So click next. I'm going to go worldwide here. You're going to find a lot of great designers come from Southeast Asia. Let's see. I'm going to do one freelancer here. Who can see your job? Anyone. One freelancer next. Typical hourly wage. I'd like to do, so here's kind of how I do it. I anticipate paying about $15 a design. If it's a really good designer, I'll pay more than that. But so what I'll do then is I'll set my hourly rate to about $15 an hour. And then when the designers apply to it, I'll work out a deal with them. I'll say, hey, I really want to pay a flat rate per design. How is $15 per design sound? And the designs don't typically take them an hour to do, so it's usually a pretty good deal. All right, how long do you expect this project to last? I put usually, yeah, I put more than 6 months. It seems like they changed the layout of this. Something that question caught me off guard. Okay, do you have any time requirement for this project? I do put less than 30 hours a week because it's usually not going to take that long. Now I'm going to click next. All right, here's my job. I'm going to review it and then I'm going to post it. It's going to take you to another screen where you get to invite a bunch of freelancers to the job. I do go through that screen. I invite a bunch of people. I typically try to do that every single day just to make sure I'm getting a lot of good candidates. You're going to find they're going to come in quick. Within a day or two, you're going to have 30, 40 candidates for your particular job. What you're going to want to do is go through each one. You're going to want to here are the things I kind of look at. I try to make sure, here, let me see. I try to make sure they've done at least 100 hours on Upwork before. I like to only look at people that have a satisfaction score of 90% or above. And I like to only look at people that have made at least $1,000 or more. And finally, I also like to make sure they speak basic English. Like they need to be somewhat fluent in English. Those are kind of my criteria when I'm looking through my list trying to sort people out. So if they don't have very many hours and they're brand new, I don't waste my time with it. If they have a satisfaction score that's less than 90%, I don't really waste my time with it, and things like that. So hope you found this video helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey, what's up everybody? I wanted to share with you 2 additional resources for finding graphic designers. So my go-tos today really are the Shine On Graphic Design group and then also Upwork when I need to do my own freelance type of stuff. However, here are 2 additional resources that you can tap. So onlinejobs.ph, that's what we're looking at here. This is a freelance network in the Philippines. It is a paid network, like you have to pay, I think, per month to create a job listing. Oh, they've actually changed it. They do have a free trial thing here where you can get to upload 3 jobs. So good, you get to try it for free. This is a great place to go to find real high quality, like vetted freelancers from the Philippines. I've had success with this. I actually like this a lot. I just find that Upwork, it's first of all, the Shine On Graphic Design group is much easier to find people that do exactly what we're doing. And you don't have to filter through a bunch of people. I love that. That's my go-to. After that, the Upwork, when you make a job post there, you get a flood of people. Upwork is like the space for freelancers. So it helps you rapidly find somebody new. But onlinejobs.ph is probably my 3rd place that I go to find graphic designers. And then another place you can go is Fiverr. I know a lot of people who use Fiverr to great success. You can get quick turnaround times. There's no stipulation really about like the transaction and the deal. I mean, like Fiverr locks all that kind of stuff in. You're exchanging things right on their interface. If you get screwed over, you can report back to Fiverr. So, there's a lot of protections built in here. I do know some pretty successful print-on-demand guys that use Fiverr for all their needs. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of Fiverr because you have to be very, very clear in your design requirements to get really what you want. And the other thing is these guys they're banging out designs like as fast as they can. So when it comes to quality, it can be jeopardized a little bit in that process. So if you do use Fiverr, you're going to have to shop around on Fiverr to find a pretty good graphic designer for print on demand. You're going to have to try several of them that come up and see which one is the best and kind of matches your aesthetic. Okay, so these are the 2 additional places I'll go after the Shine On Graphic Design group and Upwork kind of failed to give me what I want. I'll go to onlinejobs.ph and then finally I'll check Fiverr. Hope you found this video helpful. We'll see you in the next one. Hey, what's up? I wanted to make one more comment real quick about the Facebook pixel on this particular page. So I'm referring to this right here, this section, and specifically your Facebook pixel. So if you want to add a Facebook pixel, all you have to do is click this little button and it's going to create this like input field for you and you can paste your pixel ID here. Now, I usually add a pixel ID to every single one of my products because I have niche specific pixels. So I make sure that each product has their corresponding pixel assigned to it. So I don't rely very much on the global pixel that we covered in previous steps in the course. I usually add a pixel to every one of my product pages, but this is where you do that. You do that right here. You just paste in your niche specific pixel right here, and it's going to assign the pixel to this product, and then when you go to the product, you can see your pixel on it. You can also add your Google pixel here if you would like. You can just click that over and you can paste your Google pixel, and then it will be assigned to this product as well. So if you need to add a niche specific pixel ID to your product, right here is where you do that. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. We'll see you in the next one.